Yo, it's been a while since I've done a yapping video. And by a while, I mean like what, 5 days? I think I made one the night before the rebalances came up, and I was going to do like a whole video on them, but then my parents were home, and I was like, I actually recorded a video, but you could hear my parents in the background, and I was like, I could upload this and unlist it, but I feel like that's just not, it's not up to my quality standards, so I just decided to not upload it, and I figured that I'd do it later. And now it's time for Guild War, everyone's favorite event. I actually don't mind Guild War that much, honestly. I don't really mind doing it at all, honestly. I farm 6k meat the first day. I go to like 50k honors, and I do a little bit more if my crew needs me to push. My crew actually needed me to push, but I didn't push. Thank you, Shy, for doing. She did all the pushing for us, and now we're in tier A, which is good. Means I can continue slacking and just go to 1 billion. I'll probably go to like 1.2 or 1.3 billion for like top 70k, so I can be very snugly within top 90k and just. That's my plan for Guild War. This Guild War to like be pretty slack, honestly, all things considered. Like I'll manual for like 2 or 3 hours each day, and then once 150 and when 200 are out, I'm just gonna be full autoing. I was supposed to take more active, like I was supposed to prepare more than I did. Like I originally, like my plan was last week that I was going to do like a week-long preparation for my preparation and my setups for Guild War. And so I realized like 2 days earlier before Guild War that I just did not care enough to do all that sort of videos for it. So I was like, okay, I really don't care about this like Guild War, and I'm probably going to be putting in the bare amount of effort into the Guild War itself. Why would I create a video pretending that I'm trying hard when this is how much M3 that I farmed, by the way? Like, yeah, I farmed up a full spear, a full I think katana, yeah, a full katana and some change, and I didn't even farm a full gun. That's how little I care, because I'm going to go primal by the time the next like Guild War comes around. And I figure if I'm a primal in the element, then I should like try hard, like really hard. That's why I went ham in Fire Guild War last 2 months ago, or well 3 months ago at this point. But this Guild War, man, I'm not feeling it. So I decided to just scrap that video idea. I feel like I might do it for next Guild War, even though I'm worse off in dark than I am in light, by the way. But I figured that might be like a fun video to like get my dark more in shape and like practice video editing and stuff. But for light, yeah, I'm just wasn't feeling it, so I decided to not bother. Like I don't even have my opus to 230 or 210, so I'm like I'll probably where's my opus? It's up here, right? Like I have most of the stuff to uncap it. I think I'm just missing like a couple Belial keys. Yeah, I'm just a couple of Belial and a couple bubs. I could like farm this out in like an afternoon. And I might, because I have a Fa Zero key. I have Extremity key lounging around, and I'm probably going to be using like Extremity key plus 2 Luminera summons for 150 and 200. So I'll probably farm out that. And I didn't even bother with the I didn't even bother like uncapping the Draconic, even though I know I should. Like if you want to be serious about Magna Guild War, if you're playing Guild War in the mat and you want to like full auto stuff, you need to farm out your Draconic, because it hits too hard on Nightmare 200 to be dealing without some help from your Draconic. But I just, again, I couldn't be bothered. Like I might farm this like later tomorrow morning when people are like done with Guild War round 1, but like man, it's preliminaries right now. I legit just logged on to make sure all my setups were working. And speaking of setups, always make sure that you go to the Unite and Fight page and you click on the type of grid that you're running. Omega is Magna, Optimus is Primal, and then you just copy. Like, legit just copy everything here, man. Like the only thing I had that's unique to my account this Guild War in terms of setups is if I go to party, you can see that my EX Plus setup is actually unique, because I built this EX Plus setup 5 months ago, and I was like, wow, it works. Word. I'm just like, I just built this. I was like, wow, my Siete swords that I farmed in like early November ended up going to be useful this useful already. And now it's my Nightmare 90 setup too. I legit just copied this setup from the wiki. Nightmare 90, one button Katura with Sete swords. I was like, oh wow, this is a thing you can do? Look at how lax it is. They even managed to fit Shine in the back line. And I just copied the whole thing. Like, this is how you're supposed to Guild War, man. If you're not super invested, yoink the setups off the wiki and, like, do your minimums and just have fun. Like, to me, this is still fun because I'm improving from my my account from last year. Last year, like Guild War, I wasn't not able to do, like, Nightmare 95 in a reasonable amount of time. Now, I am, like, more than able to, like, if I showed you the setup on, the Nightmare 90, I overkill by a lot because I have barred Harmonias too. I just, they're not necessary for that setup, but to me this is like the fun of GBF. Like, it's like a constant grind. You're constantly improving your account, things, and it's just fun to play. Like, as an actual RPG, it's fun to play and just like goof around with grids and stuff. But this is my Nightmare 90 setup. Again, I'm legit gonna be copying everything from the wiki. The only thing I can't copy from the wiki is 95 because I was so lazy. I was like, bro, I'm not farming guns. I might have to farm guns because as I have like a 2-button 1 million honors set up for Luminera, so I probably should just farm out 3 guns in like an afternoon or something. Like in between round 1 and round 2, I might farm out the guns. But again, my idea was that I'm not gonna have to bother after this Guild War, so why bother? But it might make my Guild War significantly easier to full auto at the end, so I might end up actually doing it. Like, and there's the Nightmare 90 done in 1 button, no summons. So, like, yeah, this is probably, like, I'm thinking about running this, but instead of, like, it says you can swap out bolts for swords, and I have 2 barred Harmonia, so I feel like this will probably work, probably. If it doesn't work, well, yeah, I'll just eat. I'll eat. I'll just eat crap and add a button. But back to something I actually should have made a video on earlier that I just never bothered because, again, like I said, like way earlier, I got busy and my parents were home, so I wasn't able to make a good video. I was going to talk about the character balance changes, and it's been a week since these have happened, pretty much. Well, not like a full week. It's been, what, 5 days? But it's been almost a week. I'm not going to talk about any of the ones that aren't fire because I ultimately do not care about these elements, nor do I have these guys at 150 to actually like give you more than hearsay. But I guess I won't like talk about them at length, but I'll quickly go over them. Everyone agrees Honore was the biggest loser. Second biggest loser was Esteroila, and then third biggest loser was Maria Theresa. For a very slight tangent, they really should rework Maria Theresa. Esteroila is not bad, but Maria Theresa is just, man, they really need to rework her. Honore, they also need to rework him as well. This is nice, but it's kind of pathetic. Like, the half of his change was just no longer requiring a foe and overdrive for increased damage. Like, man, give him stuff. Biggest winner was Chuan because she got 2 turns of flurry, 3 hit, and bonus light damage on her 1 at level 85. That's impressive. Then she gets a whole bunch of extra supplemental because she gets supplemental on Ogi and supplemental on her Transcended Extended Mastery support skill. She's the biggest winner, and she's now Light's good old gorilla along with Lucio for full limit break. Then we got the second biggest winner. They did the bare minimum for Frox by making her strength upright, and her strength upright now has the actual effect added to it more than just a 1-turn cooldown cut that barely does anything because it only affects skills that are on cooldown already. But the big thing is that she no longer consumes 50% of her max HP in order to activate her 4, which means you can use it all the time, and she gets like a 15k shield with no drawback. This is good. Like, I wanted more. I wanted her to get like multi-attack on red heat foes. I wanted the red attack heat effect to be buffed. I wanted her 3 to heal even if it doesn't deal damage. But ultimately, this is what she needed, and she got what she needed, so now she's like unambiguously very strong. Now, this is going to be a little bit of cope and a little bit of my own personal opinion, but I think Chine was a surprising winner of the rebalances. I said this in my initial take for this video that you will never see, but the intense bullet being able to be multicast 2 times in 1 turn, That's actually pretty good for omen clearing, but it's also very, very good for her ramping, because Chine's whole deal is that she's trying to work towards her 150 passive of getting 100k supplemental on all attacks when she has when a foe's that bounty 10 or above. It used to take her 3 Ogies in order to get this. Now it only takes 1, which is a huge cut down to her ramp time, because it's either 1 charge attack or waiting 5 turns, which isn't all that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. And this is like 100k supplemental to everything she does, her skills, her normal attacks, everything, which is great because now that you can multicast this twice in 1 turn, she now is dealing like 10 million damage per her skill 1 cast. And that's like crazy. She can do like 40 million skill damage in 1 turn if you have pig sticks and other supplemental support, like either Leviathan, not Leviathan, Ouroboros Minos for Mana Diver, or like Frox's swap-in passive. I was saying that if Chine and Frox get like, if Chichiri is really, really good defensively and also does skill nukes, Chine, Chichiri, and Frox might actually be going ham together altogether. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about the rebalances. Like all the other ones that I didn't mention, like Fifth, Fiawer, and no, just Fifth and Fiawer. That was it. Yeah, these two they actually won, but they didn't win as hard as I think Chine or Frox did. Although I'm pretty sure you could argue that Fiawer won more than Chine, but I play Fire more, so I think Chine won more, but I don't know. Again, I don't have Fiawer at 150. I'm not like a super invested Water Lord, so I can't really tell you how big his wins are. But I do know for a fact that Chine is just silly now. But honestly, that was honestly it for my Grand Blue stuff. I feel like I'll probably do a second, more general purpose yapping video later tomorrow, actually, like early in the mornings. Like I'm recording this at like 4 p.m. EST when I usually do these at like 12 p.m. but I just felt like I really shouldn't like leave the fact that I created a whole ass video talking about what I wanted to see from the rebalances, and I just didn't have a video talking about what I actually thought about the 2 rebalances that meant the most to me. Like if you see my trial battles here, I don't even know they're still here. I was doing some tests on like, this is actually pretty impressive for Chine, because before she used to deal less damage than Percy, and Percy barely does that much damage outside his guaranteed triple attacks and his auto nuke. Like, he usually does like way less damage than like Zeta or whatever, but Zeta just poops out damage. So I was actually pretty impressed by Chine's results in my testing compared to what it was like the day before, but that's not here anymore because that was removed. I also did some testing in Lindworm that you can see on the channel, but like, yeah. Ultimately, I'm pretty happy with the Fire's changes to their characters. It should have been more. I feel like Chine should have gotten a Flurry on her 3 or something. Maybe like her foe has 10 bounty, she gets Flurry. And I'm still mad about this 130 passive, by the way. This is still egregious considering Jury has this like unconditionally. Like, yeah, Jury's skill damage solve the wound thing only applies to himself, and this is team wide, but this doesn't apply to the back line. So I'm still mad about this. I still feel like this should be on treacherous trigger or something, but yeah. Ultimately, the characters are fine, and like I said earlier, I will probably not make a video recapping this Guild War because I just am not putting enough effort to warrant putting all that effort in like video editing and stuff in order to discuss my Guild War results when I'm not putting that much effort into Guild War. So, like, again, watch AJT's 500 video about his Guild War pursuits because he puts effort into Guild War. This is the Guild War that I'm not putting effort. I'm relatively slacking this Guild War. So, thank you for those who actually watch these. I know that these me talking about Grand Blue is like, it does the worst compared to everything else I talk about, but people still do watch these, and I'm very thankful for those of you who do watch them. Thank you, and see ya. I should probably mention before I cut off that the music, some of it is Penny's Big Breakaway, and some of it is Breeze in the Clouds. I found this OST randomly via YouTube. It's very, very good, and the game looks very fun. So I'm going to post a link to the game's website in the description so that you can check it out and check out the OST. That's it from me, at least. Thank you for watching.